Hello, my friends. This is Monseigneur Lemaitre, and today I would like to ask, what are the implications for nationalists and identitarians in Europe and the European diaspora in the wake of Crimean emancipation and the actions taken by Vladimir Putin? In my opinion, we have come to an important part of European history and its destiny. I, for one, am excited to be alive and brushing up on my Russian, though it is a notoriously difficult language. The bear was poked one too many times, if only saner heads had prevailed in the West. Isn't "don't poke the Russian bear" as axiomatic and pragmatic a piece of advice as never wage a land war in Asia? Unfortunately, it seems that the foreign policy establishment in the West has never seen the Princess Bride, alas. They have summarily tried to ignore both those axioms. They have wasted so much blood, money, and gained so much too, and American spirit in their attempts to tick the final boxes on their New World Order checkbox. Just to clarify, that's the NWO Pat Buchanan mentions, not the one Alex Jones does. Victoria Nuland, in her leaked, have you noticed the Russians' newfound skill for the leak? Conversation was the embodiment of chutzpah. She, of course, is a member of a neocon dynasty, an accomplished woman to be sure, but cursed by blood. She has not the magnanimity, nor the seriousness, it seems, of her European friends. Of course, that magnanimity and spirit of America first has been all but expunged from the conservative movement in America. Ask William Crystal. He likes to brag of such things. Of course, it is just an anti-Semitic canard to suggest that the neoconservative movement is in essence an intellectually and practically Jewish movement. Right, Mr. Foxman? But I digress. Back to Crimea. The slow encroachment of NATO-allied countries encircling Russia, coupled with the NGOs abroad in the East and their proxy news agencies and media, have long been poking our Slavic friends towards those ideals that the West is so desperate to impart around the world, no matter the method or cost. The quest for liberté, égalité, and fraternité have spilt more blood in Europe in 3 centuries than Christianity has in its entire existence. This writer is entirely unconvinced of their benefits, but America's God, liberty is a God, remember, is desperate to softly dominate the lives of the entire world. For the first time since the days of the attempted reuniting of the ethnic German Volk, which were foolishly, with the same chutzpah, removed from Germany by the Versailles Treaty, a European leader has inserted himself in a situation that is nominally and in reality to the benefit of his nation's ethnic core. Putin has softly done what Germany did with a mixture of force and diplomacy, despite the hysterical and sophistic cries in the Western media of an invasion. The template is the same: new Hitler, new Chamberlain, new Churchill. At least this is a template hysterical Western media would like to impart onto the situation. But rest assured, my friends, it won't work. The West is so war-weary and besieged by their own governing class that they have completely lost trust in their assignment of value to foreign affairs. So indeed, we have a new template here, although we must reverse the values of our bourgeois friends. Putin is indeed the new Hitler, but instead of casting an evil pall over Putin, this casts Hitler's actions in a new light. The Anschluss of Austria was as wildly popular as the Crimean rump voting to join with Russia. The Western elite need to ask themselves, if ethnic nationalism is so goddamn evil, then why is it so popular? Now we can also begin to reshape the past in the popular mind, my nationalist friends. If you can convince them that Putin was justified, then it is a small step to convincing them that Adolf was too. An important event has happened. Putin is no fundamentalist. I don't believe he is one, but I believe in the very least he cares for ethnic Russians. His reign has also coincided with a very promising revival of the Orthodox Christian Church. It seems to me Russia has a soul. It also has a 13% flat tax rate, and it has a central bank that is required to invest half of its profits into the treasury. Comparing the EU and the US to Russia of today should be a giant wake-up call for those who still support the West. It will never happen, of course, because, as Kevin MacDonald has noted, the West is in the grips of a hostile elite. Putin knows this fact. Anyone whom still doubt his value and veracity as an ethno-nationalist should take some time to watch his address to the Schneerson Library, which I will include in the links below. So ultimately, my friends, I think Crimea means hope, and it means a precedent, an important precedent for secession, something all us white rabbits have been harboring in our minds for a long while. How will the events in Crimea affect Western Europe? Only time will tell. But if I were Putin, I would be making a beeline for the Basque and Catalonian separatists in Spain. Unlike their friends in Scotland, who seem desperate to throw off the yoke of London and replace it with a much more onerous burden of Brussels, if the Spanish separatists could be counseled to go it alone, in inverted commas, this could have profound consequences for nationalism in Europe and the European diaspora. Also, I'll spare a quick mention for those milquetoast nationalists in Britain, UKIP. Their leader has recently expressed his admiration for Saint Putin. I can't say I disagree with him. Once again, thank you for your time, my friends. This has been Monseigneur Lemaitre, and always remember that the primordial imprimatur of the universe is the white European.